beginner's worst nightmare in volleyball, the 5-1 formation. What should I do? Where I should run? Where I'm supposed to be? Dozens of questions in your head. Don't worry, I'll show you everything step by step. When you start playing volleyball, there are usually two types of rotation and formation on the court. First, standard rotation, 1 by 1, where setter is the one who play in position 3. Second, standard rotation, 1 by 1, where the player in the front row who is the best at setting takes one of the role of setter. In amateur volleyball, there are two types of main formation, 2-4 and 5-1. The 2-4 formations with two setter is typically used by beginners teams and amateur players who play volleyball for fun and don't want to focus on strategy. But you're clearly not here for that. You're here because you want to advance in the volleyball and understand professional formation 5-1, which is used not only by professional teams, but also with advanced amateur players. In this video I won't discuss about general interactions between players on the court or how they move in relations on each other, because that would make the video way too long. Instead, I'll focus to explain the specific roles to each position, from the setter to libero, so you can learn more about the position you're interested in and understand its responsibilities. Okay, now let's go over each formation. Okay guys, let's begin from the team spraying the setter. Back line. After serve you need to move to position 1 for defense. Only after defending you can move toward to the net to set the ball. Good setter quickly recognizes when the ball isn't coming to their area and immediately moves to set it. When your team on serve receives, the setter starts in position 1, at the back right corner behind the outside hitter. After the serve, they quickly move to their working area between position 2 and position 3 to set the ball, and then return to position 1 for defense. In the next rotation, the setter will be again in position 1, where they need to defend it before moving to the net for a set. In a defense formation, moving from position 6, the setter goes to the front row around position 3, the opposite hitter's position closer to the net. Setter waits for a good pass, after the set moving to position 1. In the next rotation, the player will be in position 5. After the serve, they will again move to position 1, and after successful defense, set the ball. In defense, the player is positioned in position 5, closer to the 3 meters line, but not closer to the net than the middle blocker. After the serve receive, they move to the set ball, then head back to position 1. Front row. The setter has moved to the front line and is now in position 4. Here on the front line they just need to move to the second position after each serve. In position 2, the setter's task is to block effectively and move into position after the serve received. The player is at the left edge at the net and must not move behind the middle blocker after the serve received, but instead be in position 2. In the next rotation, the player in position 3 between the outside hitter and middle blocker and moves to their working area after the serve. On defense, the setter is near of the center of the net, one on the most comfortable position in defense because it's close to their working area between position 2 and position 3. The final formation is the most easiest for the setter. Players start in position 2, don't switch with anyone, and don't need to move anywhere as long as the pass is good. It's the same situation in defense. Volleyballers stay in position 2 after the serve receive. After a successful attack, the cycle repeats, and the setter goes to serve. Summary: when the setter play in first line, after serve or serve receive, player must to move to position 2. When a player play in the back line, after serve or serve receive, setter must to move to position 1. Guys, let me know in the comments if you want a video how to become a perfect setter, and I will create it for you. Next, outside hitter. The first outside hitter starts the game on the front line. When the setter is serving, the volleyballer in position 2, and after the ball is served, the players move to position 4 to spike and block. Once the serve switch to the opposing team, the outside moves to position 1. However, because the hitter is playing on the front line in this rotation, they cannot stand further back than the setter, who is in the back row. After the defensive play, the players move to position 2 and waiting for a spike. This is an exception for the outside hitter, since it's only the one formation where a player remains to spike from position 2. In the next rotation, the player serves, and after moves to position 6, the potential join to pipe attack. If the ball is lost, the outside hitter takes the serve reception in position 1, positioning to the right of the setter. After receiving the serve, they move to position 6 for defense and to the pipe. Following the rotation, the outside hitter stays in position 6, playing both defense and attack. The same goes for defense. The outside hitter stays in position 6, positioned further from the net than the second outside hitter on the left. After the serve reception, they remain in position 6. In the next rotation, the player starts at the left side of the court at position 5, and after the serve, move to position 6. For serve receive, no movement is needed, as the player in position 5 shifts to position 6. After the defense, the player stays in position 6 for both attack and defense. The player moves back to the front row in position 4, where they remain. Now they will focus more on blocking and spike from the front line. When the opposite team serves, the player defends in position 5, positioning closer to the net than the libero, and then prepares to spike from position 4 on the front row. Finally, in the last rotation, the player starts in position 3 and moves to position 4, where they will continue blocking, receiving and attacking. In defense, they again take the serve reception in position 5, position it closer to the net than the second outside hitter on the right, and then move to position 4. Nice. When outside hitter play in the back line, after serve or serve receive, move to position 6 to defense and pipe. When the outside hitter play in the first line, after serve or serve receive, move to position 4 for spike and block. Only one exception: serve receive in position 2. And now let's talk about the role of second outside hitter, who started at second line. Player's positioning is a little bit different from the first outside hitter, which we will now explore. The player begins in position 5, and after the serve moves to position 6 for defense and the potential pipe attack. When the serve switches to the opposing team, the second outside takes position 5 for the serve reception, which also hitter's rotation spot, and after receiving the ball moves to position 6. In the next rotation, the player moves to the front line and stays in position 4, where outside is responsible for blocking, receiving and attacking. When the opponent serves, the players move to position 5 to serve receive, positioning closer to the net than the Libero, and after that moves to position 4 to continue attacking and defending. This is what the player will do on the front line. In the next rotation, the player moves from position 3 to position 4, where they consistently block, spike and dip. In reception, the second outside hitter moves from position 3 to position 5 for defense, ensuring the stay to the right of the middle blocker and closer to the net than the first outside hitter. In the last front row rotation, after the serve, the player moves from position 2 to position 4, where they perform their standard duties. When the opposite serves, the outside hitter moves from position 2 to position 5 for defense, but an important detail is that the middle blocker and the setter must be positioned to the left to maintain the correct rotation. After the serve switch, the second outside hitter rotates to the back row, specially to serve. After serving, they move to position 6 for defense and positional attack. In defense, the player moves to position 1 for serve reception, and after successfully receiving the ball, they move to position 6 as usual. In the final rotation, the player remains in position 6. In defense, the second outside hitter must stay further from the net than the first outside hitter. Then receive in position 6. When outside hitter play in the back line, after serve or serve receive, move to position 6 to defense and pipe. When the outside hitter play in the first line, after serve or serve receive, move to position 4 for pipe and block. Opposite hitter. Now we have reached opposite hitter. Player often doesn't participate in serve reception. However, just because the opposite hitter doesn't receive the ball during the serve, doesn't mean they aren't involved in defensive action during the opponent's attack. The player starts in position 4, and after the serve, opposite move to position 2 to perform defensive action and prepare for attack from there. When the ball switches to the opposing team, the opposite hitters stay in position 4, as per rotation without participating in the serve receive. Players position closer to the net to avoid interfering with the team's receive and get ready to attack and defend. In the next rotation, the opposite hitter starts in position 3, and after the serve moves to position 2 for blocking, attacking and defensive duties. During defense in the rotation from position 3, the opposite hitter must be positioned to the left of the middle blocker and closer the left than the setter, who is in the back row, somewhere between position 3 and 2. After the serve, they can return to their standard spot in position 2. After the next rotation, the opposite hitter stays in position 2, so it's pretty straightforward here. During reception, the player is also in position 2. After the reception, which the opposite hitter doesn't participate, they wait for attack in position 2 and prepare to further defense. In the next rotation, the opposite hitter moves to the back row and serves, staying in position 1, which will be their zone to the next 3 rotations. Although they need to defend the player in crucial form, attacking from the back row. When the opponent serves, the opposite hitter hides in the corner on position 1, to the right of the Libero, where they remain after the reception, ready to defend and attack from there. In the following rotation, the player can immediately take up their position in position 1 to defend and attack. After losing the point and switches to serve to the opponent, the opposite hitter defend and during defense in position 6. They need to stay near the back line between the Libero and the outside hitter. After the reception, they move to their working zone in position 1 to defend and attack from the back row. In the final rotation, the opposite starts in position 5, positioned at the left side of the court. After the serve, they must quickly move to their position 1. During the serve reception in position 5, the opposite hitter should hide between the 2 outside hitters and then, as usual, rush to their home in position 1. Conclusion: the opposite hitter doesn't receive the serves. When the opposite hitter play in the back row, after serve or serve receive, move to position 1 to defense and attack. If the opposite hitter play in the front line, after serve or serve receive, move to position 2. Only one except if player in position 4 in defense. Okay guys, next is middle blocker. Start with the player of the front row. Things are quite simple for them in the beginning. During the serve, the middle blocker starts in position 3 and stays there. From position 3, it's easier for them to move across the front row and defend any part of the net, and quickly engage in blocking and attacking. When the opponent serves, the middle blocker position themselves near position 4, making sure not to interfere with their team's reception. The middle blocker doesn't participate in serve reception. After the rotation, the middle blocker moves to position 2, and after their team serves, they shift to position 3 for blocking, defense and attack. In defense, according to the rotation, the middle blocker is positioned in position 2, so they move to the far line beyond the opposite hitter and avoid disputing other players. After the team receives the ball, the middle blocker moves to position 3, where they should be ready to block, attack and defend. The middle blocker goes to serve, and after serving they move to position 5. Their job at position 5 is to defend the opponent's attack. Once the rally is over and opponent serves, the middle blocker must switch with the Libero, who will cover the entire back row, taking position 1, 6 and 5 in the rotation. After the Libero is finished covering the back row, the middle blocker switches back in and moves to position 4. Once the other middle blocker serves back to their usual spot in position 3 to continue play. The final rotation for the middle blockers is from position 4. They need to position themselves to the left of the outside hitter, and after the opponent serves, the player moves to position 3, ready to attack and defend in their zone. Conclusions: the middle blocker in the front row, after serve or serve receive, move to position 3. On the back row, after serve, they should move to position 5 for defense only once. Second middle blocker. Since the second middle blocker is immediately substituted by the Libero, their pass begins only after the Libero passes through position 6 and 5 and switches with them, tiring position 4 during the serve of the first middle blocker. After serving, the middle blocker moves from position 4 to position 3, which will be their usual position during play on the front row. When the opponent serves, the middle blocker positions themselves in position 4, closer to the net than the setter, and then move to position 3. after the team receives the ball. In the next rotation, when the middle blocker is in position 3, they remain there after the ball is put into play. Their task in defensive actions and the attack. When the opponent serves, although the middle blocker is rotated to position 3, they should be positioned in position 4, to the left of the outside hitter and to the right of the setter. After the team receives the ball, the middle blocker shifts to their standard role in position 3, where they perform their usual defense and attack duties. Next, the player moves to position 2, and after serving, they simply move back to position 3, where they continue performing their usual tasks. During reception, the middle blocker stands in position 2, making sure not to interfere with their team's receptions. After the serve, they move back to position 3 as usual. Finally, before being substituted by the Libero, the middle blockers serve, after which they move to position 5 and are then substituted by the Libero. Conclusions: the middle blocker in the front row, after serve or serve receive, move to position 3. On the back row, after serve, they should move to position 5 for defense only once. Hardest one: Libero. Now let's talk at the role of the Libero. During the setter's serve, the Libero is positioned in position 6. After which they move to position 5 to perform defensive actions there. After the serving change, the Libero starts in position 6, where they receive the serve, then move to position 5 for defense. The Libero can immediately position themselves in position 5 during their team's serve, and simply remain in their usual spot after the serve. When the opposing team serves, the Libero again takes a spot in position 6 and must be further from the net than the outside hitter. After the reception, they move to position 5 to defend. When the team rotates, the Libero will be substituted by the middle blocker, who will take over position 4. And after the other middle blocker serve and the ball is lost, the Libero replaces the middle blocker in position 1 and receives the serve. After that, they must quickly move to position 5. When the Libero is in position 6, after their team serve, they once again move to position 5 to perform their defensive duties. During the opponent's serve, if the Libero is in position 6, they must shift to position 1, staying to the right of the opposite hitter and leave space to the outside hitter in position 5, and sometimes 6. After receiving, the Libero immediately moves to position 5. On the next serve, the Libero is in position 5 by rotation, where they remain to defend as usual. When the opponent serves, the Libero shifts from position 5 to position 6 for serve receive, making sure to stay further from the net than the outside hitter in position 5. After serve receive, they return to position 5. After scoring, the Libero swaps with the middle blocker and moves into position 4, giving them a chance to rest. Finally, in the last rotation, the Libero substitutes the middle blocker after the serve is lost. During serve receive, when the middle blocker is in position 1 and after receiving, moves to position 5. Conclusions: this is one of the difficult positions to rotate and remember. The key point is Libero shift to the right in serve receive to make more space for outside hitter. That's a brief of the 5-1 formation and role of each player in the system. I hope you've gotten more understanding and this video was helpful for you. Likes and subscribe if you are interested in volleyball. and I'll do my best to teach you how to play volleyball.